Hey everybody, it's been a very long time since I've done this, but I'm making a YouTube video after probably at least 6 months since I've done it. You probably seen, if you have ever seen any of my videos, you probably saw them on Relaxing with Randy. And this is a new YouTube channel that I'm calling Riding with Randy. It's been a lot of changes in the last 6 months. Well, actually, since back in October of 2018, I got on Halloween Day, I got word that I was going to be laid off, and from the company I'd been with for almost 11 years. I'm not going to name any names. Great company, best company I ever worked for. And so it did happen officially on January 2nd of 2019. I received a really nice severance package for 6 months, including medical and dental and the whole 9 yards. Nice big old, what do you want to call it? Salary package, I guess you could say. Anyway, on top of that, I was able to cash out my 401k without any penalty because of my age. And I still have a pension coming in a couple of years. So that's what I was saying. It was an amazing company, and I really hated that it happened the way it did. But business is business, and there were budget cuts, and so there you go. And I got caught up in that. So long story short, I'm originally from the South in Louisiana, and love it here. And born and bred in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge actually, and then lived in a small town just north of Lafayette for a number of years. Met my wife, who's from the Pacific Northwest, lived up there for about 15 years. She loves it down here probably more than I do, and we decided to come back. And with our little nest egg, we were able to buy a house on some land, paid cash for it, so we have no mortgage, which we're happy about that. And I'm just kind of giving you a quick background on what's coming. So I don't mind saying I'm 60 years old. Hopefully I don't look it, but maybe I do. I don't know. But anyway, kept trying to get jobs, full-time jobs, doing professional work that I did with a company that I worked with in the past. And would go through 3, even sometimes 4 interviews. These are not super high-level jobs, but they were, I guess you could say, mid-level in management. And just thinking, yeah, I've got the position, and always told at the end, hey, you're great, you've got all this experience and everything, but yeah, we decided we're going to go with someone else. And at first I'm like, yeah, well, it happens. But after a while, it was like, something's weird here. And no one directly came out and said, hey, it's your age or whatever, but it definitely gives you that impression that that's what it was. I did have one job. It lasted a total of 3 weeks. I'm not going to name any names again, but the company was a little on the shady side as far as I'm concerned, and we decided it would be best that we both part ways. That was my decision. So it was at will, and so I willingly said goodbye, and that was the end of that. There were some things that went on that I wasn't comfortable with, went against my ethics, and so anyway. My wife and I have been living okay. We've definitely had more in the past than we have now, but we do have a house. We have a nice piece of land, and I can't complain. I've always been a strong Christian, but I feel like I've gotten closer to God and my Savior Jesus Christ in the last couple of months than I have in my entire life, and I feel really good about that. But anyway, back to this whole Riding with Randy. The reason I titled this channel Riding with Randy is because I decided to do a little side job of Uber and Lyft, just try it out, and not too bad. Actually, at first it was a little bit slow, but as you start to learn the groove and you get into it, and you know how to do it, you have to be strategic about it. You can't just go out there and ride around and expect to get all kinds of rides. There is a strategy involved, and as this goes on, I don't mind sharing those tips. But tops, I probably made $50 a day, I'm going to say, which is not bad. And that's for about 3 or 4 hours of work. And let me tell you, when you ride around in your car for 3 or 4 hours, you're ready to call it a day. At least I am. I'm not one that can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go all the way till 10 o'clock at night driving my car and just tearing it up. I'm not going to do that. So one thing that, and this is the main part of this video, and I want to share this with you guys out there who are fairly new at ride sharing. You may not be aware of this. In fact, a lot of people may not be aware of this when it comes to insurance. Now, if you look at your Uber and Lyft agreement, it looks as though you're okay with car insurance. And in fact, in some cases, well, yeah, it does. It seems that way, right? They tell you that as long as you have, either you're going to get a passenger, you got a notice on your app, and you're going there to get the passenger. And also once you put the passenger in your car, then you're okay with that. And when I say you're okay, I'm talking about in the event that you get into an accident, then you're covered by one of the rideshare companies. Well, that is somewhat true, but not completely true, and I'll tell you why. There is this thing where, actually, let's break it down. There's 3 phases of ride sharing. First phase, as we all know, is when you are working for a rideshare company, and keep in mind this is all independent contracting work. So you are self-employed. You are a 1099 employee, and so you are working for yourself. They are just simply providing the people to ride in your vehicle, and they pay you a certain percentage. Typically, with the case of Lyft, it's about 70-30, and with the case of Uber, it's more like 65. Well, no, I'm going to take that back. About 60-40. You being that you get the majority, they get the lesser part of it. So anyway, so the phase 1 is when you're out there looking for a ride, or you're waiting for your app to light up and knowing that you have a ride. Phase 2 is when you're actually going, when you get the alert, and you're going toward wherever the passenger may be to pick them up. Phase 3 is when they actually get into your car and you take them to their destination, okay? So on phase 1, you are not covered by either rideshare company in the event that you get into an accident. Your insurance company that you have, your own personal insurance company, is what you would depend on, okay? Phase 2 and 3, these rideshare companies' insurance are secondary. Your primary would be your personal insurance. Okay, now here's the thing that I found out recently. Your personal insurance will not cover you unless you have a commercial insurance, okay? And by that I mean they call it the rideshare insurance, okay? And what that essentially is a commercial insurance. Now, if you know anything about business, you know that anything you get that is considered commercial is going to be a heck of a lot more expensive than personal, okay? You see where I'm going with this. So if you opt in and buy the commercial insurance, then you are covered pretty much. If you get into an accident, no matter which phase you're in, your insurance will kick in, and then whatever is left over, the rideshare company will kick in on phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 1, you're 100% covered. Now, but what is the cost involved? Well, for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, the cost is more than double what you pay on your personal insurance. And with the rideshare fees being what they are, and they're actually going down on their fees, which means drivers are affected as well, you end up paying a lot of money that you don't really get back. And keep in mind, you got your gas that you have to pay for, you've got your wear and tear on your vehicle that you're responsible for. So, and these rideshare companies are making a fortune. And on top of that, the insurance companies are also making a fortune. And if there are a lot of people who don't know about this and thinking that their personal insurance will pay for it, you are really mistaken. It won't happen that way. In fact, in a sort of a weird and twisted way, you're sort of committing insurance fraud. Okay, so by not letting the insurance company know that you're doing this rideshare thing, and depending on what you think that only the rideshare companies will insure you for, if you get into an accident, your insurance company will drop you like a hot potato if all you have is personal insurance. Okay, so my warning to you is either A, get out of the rideshare business altogether. B, shop around and maybe you will find a really decent insurance company out there that would do like a ride share waiver or rider, I mean, or a not a full ride share, but that they would cover you in the first part, and the ride share companies would pick up 2 and 3. Okay, but even with that, keep in mind that they are the secondary insurance. So if you don't have a primary, well, then you may be SOL. Okay, and then the other option is just get out of rideshare altogether and find something else. I'm exploring option 2 right now. I'm trying to find a lesser expensive insurance company that will give me a decent rideshare insurance package. And if I cannot find that, then I'm going to just have to stop doing it. Now, I do have some other things on the side that I'm working on that don't include any of that kind of stuff, and that's okay. And it still includes professional driving and all that, which I got to be honest with you, I love driving. I used to be a paramedic, and I love it. So it's like a passion for me. I love customer service. I love taking care of people. I love taking them to their destination, having conversations with them as we go, and things like that. And so it's really great. Now, what gets me upset is that people are just trying to make a buck these days, and cost of living is so sky high nowadays. And people, I don't care what they say about the economy. The economy, in my mind, stinks. There are still layoffs. There are still people out of work. Unless you go work at McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, or you do some kind of ride share. And you got to make ends meet somehow, right? Okay, so in my case, you're semi-retired, or maybe you just retired, and you're like, you know what? I love retirement, but I got to have a little bit on the side, and so I'm going to go do Uber and Lyft. Well, think again, because there's a lot of hidden things out there, and that's why I'm on here to tell you about those things that you need to be aware of, okay? So just please be careful. Please really don't just jump at the hype, and I kind of did that. And then Lyft even has a thing that, we partner with Geico, and we will, give you 25 cents per ride toward that insurance, and so you can actually come out ahead. Well, that is total BS. I don't know what planet they're from, but it doesn't apply on the planet I live on. The insurance costs far outweighs that little tiny bit of money that they give you for reimbursement of that insurance. It's a drop in the bucket, okay? In fact, it's like a half a drop in the bucket. It's not much. So do yourself a favor, do a lot of research before you get into this. And this is what I'm afraid of, is there's so many people out there that are jumping in because they're so desperate to make money, and they're jumping into this, and they even know the risk involved, that if they get into an accident, but they just sort of like, I'm going to take my chances. Don't do that, because what's going to happen is if you get into an accident, the insurance company, A, will drop you. B, they could say, hey, you're committing insurance fraud. Then you got the state attorney general coming after you. You don't want to do that. And then the other thing is you could get sued and be liable, and you could lose everything, your house, your everything. Driver's license, the whole 9 yards. You don't want to go through that. So it's really not worth it. It really isn't. The other thing is, if you got an Uber and a Lyft sticker on your car and you are not covered by commercial insurance, take that stuff off. Take it off. I'm taking mine off, because if you get into an accident, even if you let's say you're going to the grocery store with your wife, okay, and you have Uber and Lyft is far from your mind, you have no inkling to want to do Uber and Lyft that particular day, but you have a Uber and Lyft sticker on your car and you get into an accident and the cop sees that, and of course they're going to make note of it, and guess what? The insurance company will say, "Oh, you were out there looking for a ride." "No, I wasn't. I was taking my wife to the store." "Nope, nope, nope. You had Uber and Lyft that advertises Uber and Lyft on your car. That's saying that you want a passenger." Okay, that you could say, "Well, my app wasn't even on." Prove it. Okay, and I'm sure with the software technology and all, maybe you could do that, but again, it's not worth it. These are big, gigantic insurance companies. Uber and Lyft is a big, gigantic rideshare company, and then there's little OU, okay? And guess who's going to win? And it makes me wonder, like, what the heck is going on? Are they like, they got to know all this stuff in advance, okay? And they're just using Joe Schmoes like me and you to just like deliver on their goods and make these guys, billionaires, multi-billionaires, and we end up losing everything for them to become even richer. It really makes me mad. It really makes me mad, and it's very, very unfair. So don't play their game, okay? Anyway, that's my rant and everything. And what I'm going to do is, there's other things I do that are outside the box of Uber and Lyft that I'll be happy to share with you guys and give you tips on what I've learned so far from doing my Uber and Lyft rides. And hopefully I can get this whole insurance thing figured out and maybe get some sort of company. I got a couple other companies I'm talking to tomorrow that may be less expensive than Geico. And it may work out. So we'll see. And if it does, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, I'll come back, subscribe. I think there's a bell to ring or click or something so you can get notices as to when a new video comes up. I don't know how often I'm going to make videos. If you want to see my other videos from what I used to do, Relaxing with Randy, which is a fun channel, go there and check it out. And yeah, that's it. Okay, well, have a wonderful rest of your day or night or wherever you are or whatever you're doing, and peace with you. Take care. Bye.